This is Unit 7.5, Lesson 5, Practice Problems. This goes with the number puzzles lesson. So the warm-up, order the expressions by value from least to greatest. So the first thing I'm going to do is just solve them. So I know -5 minus a -4. So what I want to do is when I'm subtracting, I keep my first number. I want to do the keep, change, change. Keep my first number, change my subtraction to addition, and then change to the opposite of my second number. So I have -5 plus 4 equals -1. The next one, keep my first, change my sign, and then the opposite, -4 plus 5 would be +1. Now I want to keep, change, and the opposite of +5 is -5. And -4 plus -5 would give me -9. And then I'm going to keep, change, opposite, which is going to give me +9. So my greatest expression is 4 minus -5, which was 9. -4 minus -5, which was 1. -5 minus -4, which was -1. And -4 minus 5, which was -9. Is the solution to -2 7/10 plus x equals -3.5 positive or negative? Explain how you know. Well, first of all, I know because -3.5 is smaller than -2 7/10. I know it's going to be negative because I need to combine negatives to get all the way down to -3.5. I could also solve this by isolating the variable. So I can add I want to isolate x, so I'm going to add 2.7 to both sides. And that is going to be -1.2. So let's try 2.7 plus -1.2 should together be -3.9. Good. Now select all of the equations that are equivalent to -2.5 plus x equals 3.5. So let's take a look. -3.5 plus, so this is what we ended up doing to solve it. So this should work. -2.5, that one won't work. -3.5 plus a +2.5, that would work. And then this one would not work. So determine which one makes the equation true. So I want to isolate my variable, which is a. So I'm going to subtract 33 from each side. And a negative and a negative together would give me -66.8. Now, when I have a negative variable, I could do -9 equals, I'm going to add b to each side, 3.5 plus b to keep my variable positive. And now I'm going to subtract 3.5 from each side. So b is going to equal, because I can combine these since they're both negative, 9, 10, 11, 12, -12.5. The next one to solve, I need common denominators. So I'm going to make this 6/4. And 6/4 plus -3/4 is going to give me +3/4. And then I'm going to subtract 7/10 from each side. D is going to equal negative 4.7. Now plot the approximate location of x plus 4 on a number line. So how is this going to look? That's what we want to think about. So we have our number line. We see on our number line we have x, which is our variable, and we have 0, and we have 1. So if this is 1, I would think about this as 1, -1, -2, maybe around -3. Maybe somewhere around there. So I might just do this. Maybe x plus 4 could go somewhere a little bit more than 1, close to 1. And how about 4 minus x? So if I have 4 and I'm going to take away a positive, I might be further up here, because let's say it was -3. It's going to put me somewhere around 7. So I'll do 4 minus x. Okay. Now, it says Annie's Attic is having a $5 off sale. Is the relationship between the original price and the sale price proportional? So we'd have to find a constant of proportionality. So I would always do x divided by y. So 10 divided by 15 is 2/3. So how can I figure this out? Well, 15 times 2/3 is 30/3, which is 10. So that works. We'll do the next one. 25 times 2/3 gives me 50 divided by 3, which is not 20. So no, there is not a constant of proportionality. If the relationship is proportional, what is it? If it is not proportional, what could I do to make it proportional? That is a great question. So I could do anything, right? So I could do pretending we're doing 20% off. So let's rewrite the whole thing. So original price and sale price. So let's do 15, 25, and 30. So I could do the 2/3, but if I did 20 over 25, I get 4/5, which is 80%. So I could do, which it's 20% off because I'm finding 80% of my price. So I could do 15 times 4/5. 15 times 4 is 60. And 60 divided by 5 is 12. We know this one's already correct. And then I could do 30 times 4/5, which is 120/5 is going to equal, it's 35. Let's erase that. We have, 35 times 4/5, which is 140 over 5, which if I divide it out, we'll get 28. Now I'm going to leave at least the first explore on. Now I know -3 plus 5 is 2. I know that 5, I'm going to have to do 5 plus 1 to get 6, so this will be a negative because subtracting a negative becomes a positive. I want to combine -2 and -1 to make it -3. And I'm going to have to, if I did -3 and -2, I get -5, so I need to add. I think a good idea might be to leave puzzle 2 open as well, and you can just try your best on it. It doesn't hurt, and it's not really that hard or that outlandish. It's just practicing with those negative and positive symbols. So for example, I want to get to a 2, so let's do 1 minus 1 is -2. Add positive 2, I would get 0. Let's try the next one. I want to get to 0, so I need to make somewhere a positive 2. But I can make this positive 2 and make this a -2. So -1 minus another 1 is -2. And a negative and negative is positive, which will work. We want to get to 0 again. So we have 1 minus 2 is -1. And then we can add 1 to get to 0. 1 minus 2 is -1. And if I'm a -1, I need to add a positive 1, so I will subtract a negative out. And the final one here, let's make these both negatives. So this is -2, and I'm going to add 2 plus -2 is going to equal 0. All right, so tomorrow and the next day we're going to be doing a lot of practice in order for this test. I think we're doing a good job. If you have more questions, we can go over this whole homework tomorrow. Just let me know. Thank you. Bye-bye.